Hello, my most amazing artists. Congratulations on being invited for the VIP artist experience for Fenway and Hattie. So you're going to get to keep this bag that you get complete with a paper that we're going to do our drawing on today, a drawing guide for how to draw Fenway, the dog or Jack Russell Terrier from Fenway and Hattie, the main character, a pencil, oil pastels, and your badge. You're going to get to take all of that home with you today as your prize. Now, as we do in art class, the first thing I do is always the same. Pick up a pencil and write my name. You're going to want to write and draw light until you get it right today, because we do like to save paper, so draw light and you can always erase. We'll use the oil pastels later. I'm holding my paper vertically, but you could hold it horizontally and still fit this, but because the drawing guide was done vertically, I held mine up and down. I'm going to find the middle of my paper and make a dot with my pencil just so I know where to start. I'm starting out by making a circle to the center left and then another circle to the center right, trying to make sure those circles are not too close together because those are going to be my dog's eyes. Go ahead and draw yours now. Make sure your circles are about the size of a quarter. You can check that by making sure that they're at least as big as your thumb, if not a little bit bigger. I also don't want to put them too close together. I want to leave some space. Then I'm going to draw another circle inside of that circle on both of the eyes. This will be for the pupil of the eye. Then I'm going to be drawing a third circle. This one's going to be the smallest inside of that last circle I drew. This is for the little highlight that's going to stay white, but I'll color in that other circle, the second one that's medium sized. You don't have to color it in right now with pencil or take too long doing it, because we'll do that with black crayon and oil pastel later. Then I'm going to find a triangle shape between the eyes but underneath it. So I find the middle of the eyes and move down a little bit to make a straight horizontal line. Now I'm going to draw the rest of the nose. Dogs' noses are kind of like an upside down triangle, but they're a little bit more round. So instead of making corners or points at the top of this upside down triangle, I'm going to curve them but still end in a point. Dogs' noses are bigger than cats' noses, which is why I made sure that it was bigger and rounder than just a small triangle. After I finish the nose, then I'm going to draw two small semicircles or half circles, kind of like the letter C and backwards letter C, on the left and right side of the bottom of the nose. This is to make the nose's nostrils, where they can smell, and dogs have a really good sense of smell. Then I made a little line going up the middle a little bit. Next thing we're going to draw is Fenway's muzzle. The muzzle of a dog is that bottom part that's almost near their mouth, but it kind of curves around and it sticks out of the face a little bit. Unlike our face, it sticks out way more. So I'm going to try to draw that by curving around on each side. It's almost like a letter C on one side and a backwards letter C on the other side. That all connects to the nose and almost all the way up to the eyes, but not quite. After I draw the muzzle, then I'm going to draw a big letter U for the dog's big floppy tongue. Then I can even draw a line down the center of the tongue to show some detail. When we're done drawing the muzzle and the tongue, then I'm going to be drawing the top of Fenway's head. Now this part's a little bit tricky because their head is not just a circle shape. It's not just round. It's got a little bit of a curve to it. You can always look at your badge to see the picture of Fenway and the Jack Russell Terrier to see how the shape of their head looks and to draw those details. So I go above the eyes, leaving some room, and I'm going to draw this big curve. It almost looks like the letter M lowercase or like a bird, but I don't want to make those lines too curvy and exaggerated, or the head might look a little bit funny. So I'm drawing that arched line with a couple curves, and then I'll get ready to draw the ears. Fenway's ears are floppy and almost look like upside down triangles or big slices of pizza. So they don't have to be perfect triangles because a dog's ears, in reality, especially Fenway's, are flopped over. So I show that with a little bit of a line there to show it's curving over and flopping down. And then I can even have a little bit of a curve at the end to show where the ear is. It doesn't have to be a perfect upside down triangle. When I go over to the left side to draw the other ear, this time I'm going to go up, around with a straight line, and then down. That's going to be to show that that ear is definitely flopped over, so I went up a little bit more this time. Now this is what I don't want to do. I don't want to make any angles, math word. We don't want to make any exaggerated angles, meaning lines where a point meets or makes, because it's not going to look very real. That's going to make the dog look more like a Minecraft character than the character from the book. So instead of drawing all these straight lines with angles, I'm going to change that to a little bit curvier. Remember, if you need to erase, you always erase in the safety zone of your letter L so it holds your paper still and does not rip. So that's a little bit better now. Now that I have my ears, the only thing I need to do is connect the face all together. So to connect the face, I'm going to be drawing a couple extra lines. So I need to make lines that show the dog's mask. Jack Russell Terriers have this type of mask where their eye area is a different color than their muzzle area. So I'm going to make 2 lines at the tippy top and bring them down, almost like letter L's, or this one looks like a J, or backwards letter J over here, or a letter L. That's going to connect to the muzzle and show where Fenway's white fur is and where his brown fur is going to be. Now I'm going to connect some lines from the muzzle over to the sides of the face. Now you don't want to go too far with these lines because their faces are pretty slim, meaning they're not too big and fluffy. So I'm going to erase my lines to make them a little bit shorter and then connect it all together. So I'm going to bring down the line from the sides, almost near where the ears are, and end them over near where my tongue is, or where Fenway's tongue is. This is where you can add all of your own details and finishing touches, now that you have a little bit extra time. Now you can do these details either with your pencil, or you can go ahead and start drawing with the oil pastel and the crayon. If you want to draw the rest of the body, you can, or you could just leave it as the face, like an emoji. You don't have to draw the body. I'm going to get out my black crayon, but you could also use a black oil pastel. I'm going to use my black crayon just like we use Sharpies in class, and I'm going to go over top of all my pencil lines. So I'm going to trace all my pencil lines to really make them stand out. If you just move ahead to coloring, you're not going to see all the details we just drew. So I'm going to outline all of my pencil lines with that black crayon, and then after that, I can start coloring with the oil pastel. I would suggest looking at the picture on your badge of Fenway so you can see what colors you might want to use if you're trying to make it look like the main character from the book. So I gave you the colors of oil pastel that Fenway has on his fur. So I'm going to be using a combination of a few different colors of oil pastels. Now remember, oil pastel is just like paint, but it can also be as messy as paint. Sometimes they break, sometimes they're broken. That's why you get to take these home today. They're all yours to keep. So if one breaks or if it's already broken, it still works just fine. It works great actually, and even works to blend colors. You can even use a little tiny piece of them. So I'm going to go for darker brown for the ears, lighter brown or like a tan for the fur around the eyes, and then I can even mix colors. Oil pastels are awesome because you can mix many different colors to try to get a realistic effect and even add shading. I'll use pink for the tongue, and then I'm going to blend it all together using a white oil pastel. Now, the white oil pastels I was really running out of in my room. So when you go to use a white oil pastel, if you would like to use it to just draw with something that you want to be white, like the whites of the eyes or the white fur, or you could leave it the white of the paper, but I'm going to clean it off on the back of my paper. You can always clean off a dirty oil pastel by scribbling on the back of your paper. Then it works great to add the highlight to the eyes, go over top of the white fur. Just be careful because when you get it on top of the black, it does smear a little bit and create a gray. That's some color mixing lesson there. And then I can even blend in the brown to make it look more realistic. So white is great to blend your colors together just like paint. Oil pastel is very messy though, so be careful. Make sure you don't get it on your clothes and keep it on the tables. We don't want to drop them on the floor, especially because you get to take your bag home today. So you get to have fun coloring, and if you don't get to finish today, you take that bag home with you. Have fun, artists. I cannot wait to see what you create, and don't forget to sign your artwork when you're done. Have fun.